It's Friday, April 14th, and this is now on HNN.
This was a deliberate criminal act.
A 21-year-old Air National Guardsman accused of leaking classified documents. Here's the charges he faces. I'm Willie James Inman at the White House with details on how leaders in Washington are responding.
An arrest is made in connection to a boat fire at the Maui harbor.
We're going to be open on the weekends initially. We are still having a little bit of a staff shortage.
The long-awaited reopening of Oahu's only public gun range will also come with new rules. These stories plus this.
It is Hula Kahiko night at the 60th annual Merry Monarch Hula Festival. We're live in Hilo with the reigning Merry Monarch champions. That's coming up on This Is Now.
Happy Aloha Friday, everyone, and thank you so much for watching This Is Now. We have your live Merry Monarch coverage coming up in just a bit, but first a look at today's top headlines. Now, a day after his dramatic arrest, the suspect in a months-long intelligence leak faced a judge in Boston. Now, while the case moves forward, the Pentagon is rethinking its handling of sensitive information. Willie James Inman has more.
The young man accused of leaking classified government records appeared in federal court in Boston. 21-year-old Jack Teixeira was arrested on Thursday in Massachusetts. Federal prosecutors have now charged the Air National Guardsman under the Espionage Act for removing and transmitting classified materials. His family left the courthouse Friday without comment.
You said I love you to your son in court. Is there anything you'd like to say now?
Teixeira was assigned to support cyber network infrastructure, raising the question of why he had access to classified information.
That question has floated around here at the White House. President Biden released a statement saying that he has directed the military and intelligence communities to secure and limit the distribution of sensitive information.
Attorney General Merrick Garland confirmed a broad reassessment is underway.
The Department of Defense is leading an important effort now to evaluate and review the national security implications, and most important, to conduct a review of the methods of access, accountability, and control procedures.
The materials first turned up in a private online chat group and had been there for months before investigators spotted the leak.
This is about the transmission, both the unlawful retention and the transmission of the documents. There are very serious penalties associated with that.
Teixeira is being held in custody until his detention hearing next Wednesday. Willie James Inman, CBS News, the White House.
Happening today, students at Castle High School are planning a peaceful protest. This after a special education teacher was charged with sexually assaulting a student. HPD arrested 44-year-old Sonoy Kalahiki on Monday and charged him with fourth-degree sex assault. He was free after posting a $100 bail. And following news of the incident, students organized a march, and they plan to wear blue to speak out and show they do not condone the behavior the administration has had toward their students. Honolulu police have arrested a man in connection to a boat fire at Maui harbor. The 63-year-old man, who has not been charged yet, was brought into custody last night in Hawaii Kai. Police believe the man set fire to a 43-foot vessel moored at the harbor at around 8:40 Wednesday night. No word on a motive at this point. Nearby boat owners told us they were shocked that the flames could have been intentionally set.
And when I heard the explosions, I thought there must be some sort of a leak or something. I didn't know it was arson.
I think it's a good idea to have folks living here in their boats, in their property, their own property. The more you have, the more, say, citizens watch you have, more people you have looking out for the next door neighbor.
No one was on board the boat when the fire started. HFD says firefighters were able to contain the blaze to one vessel. Police have arrested a juvenile male in connection with the violent attack of a woman in Ewa Beach on Monday. The victim, Catherine Kelly, says she was walking on a beach path along Ewa Beach Road when she was shoved against a fence and thrown onto the ground. HPD says it will not release any other details about the suspect because of his age. The family of a McKinley High School student killed in a hit and run on Kapiolani Boulevard in February is gearing up for a lawsuit. The mother of 16-year-old Sarah Yara has teamed up with attorney Michael Green. Both want to pressure lawmakers to pass tougher laws to reduce the amount of unlicensed drivers on the roads. The accused driver, Mitchell Miyashiro, was arrested, then released despite 3 decades of traffic violations. He has not been charged yet.
Family is not interested in suing everybody in sight. They just want to make sure that it's a wake-up call for the state, for the legislature, and certainly for other drivers that even think about getting behind the wheel when they've been warned not to do it.
It took my daughter's death for them to wake up and see what the law, how the law is helping the community. It's not.
Yara's attorney says they could potentially seek hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages from the suspect's family. The Honolulu prosecutor's office had no comment. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed one of the nation's most restrictive abortion bills into law last night. The so-called Heartbeat Protection Act bans most abortion procedures after 6 weeks of pregnancy and was passed by the state's Republican House members earlier Thursday. It was approved by the state Senate on April 3rd, but even though DeSantis signed the bill into law, there could be a delay before it can be enforced. That's because the Florida Supreme Court is considering a lawsuit to the state's current 15-week abortion law. The new legislation would allow women who are victims of rape, incest, or human trafficking the right to get an abortion up to 15 weeks of pregnancy. Growing concerns for expectant mothers on Maui. The island's only private obstetrics practice will stop its services in October. That leaves pregnant women with just 2 options on island for care: Kaiser Permanente or Malama Ikeola, a federally qualified health center. Malama Ikeola says because of its current capacity, it's unable to be the complete solution for the gap. Lawmakers are now getting involved.
Healthcare it's a human right. The loss of healthcare access for expecting mothers in our community is unacceptable.
That left about 40 to 55 privately insured patients per month without access. That's the people who don't have Kaiser.
The Hawaii Medical Association is calling on community leaders in healthcare and public policy to address the looming crisis. After several months of lead cleanup and renovations, parts of Oahu's only public shooting range will be opening to the public later this month. But many areas of the complex are still closed, and that's frustrating some gun enthusiasts. Ben Gutierrez has more.
The entire shooting complex was shut down abruptly last September because of lead contamination. And while it is reopening, there are new rules and reduced hours.
We're going to be open on the weekends initially. We are still having a little bit of a staff shortage.
The city says the pistol and rifle ranges, which are open to the general public, will be available from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. And there will be an online reservation system because of the high demand.
With the improvements that have gone in there, we need to operate these 2 ranges simultaneously. So we want to make sure that the staff can get people used to the new operating structure.
However, parts of the range, including the Honolulu Police Department shooting bays, are still closed. The Hawaii Rifle Association says that's keeping people from getting the training required for their concealed carry weapon licenses.
All the ranges that are required for us to teach the class are not available at the public pistol range. It can only be taught at the HPD side, at the shooting bays.
We do have some improvements that we're doing to the range, more so for some of the structures that are there, some of the logs that we have to get rid of, and there's a OSHA process that we have to do. It's taking a little bit of time.
The complex was closed abruptly after elevated lead levels were found. The city worked to encapsulate the berm on the range, and workers with personal air monitoring systems found no lead dust was in the air, but they were on the surfaces.
We will be going through with de-lead wipes once a day, hosing down once a week, and power washing once a year.
And no food or drinks will be allowed on the firing line because that's where safety experts have said the lead contamination is highest.
And I would really love to see them do actual testing with food on the range and then test the food afterwards. Because I don't think that, it's going to be really contaminated after a few hours of shooting and stuff like that.
HPD says it will still be a few months before it can reopen its section of the range. Online reservations will open 5 days before the pistol and rifle ranges reopen. We'll have links to the reservation system and more information on the range itself on our website. Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
Hawaii tourism officials expect more Japanese visitors for the upcoming Golden Week holiday compared to last year. It's encouraging news after 3 years of lackluster arrival numbers from Japan due to COVID restrictions, a weak yen, and inflation. Japan celebrates 4 national holidays from April 29th to May 6th. It's become a popular traveling period that has historically brought $12 million to Hawaii's economy.
For that 1 week, the average load factor for all the carriers that fly direct flights from Japan to Hawaii is right around the 70% range, 70-75% range. And depending on the carrier, some carriers are flying 100%.
Despite the lifting of restrictions, conservative Japanese have been slow to return, choosing to travel domestically for now. All right, let's take a live look outside at sunny Hilo on this Aloha Friday. What's in store for your weekend? Let's send it over to our friend, Guy Hagi.
We've got a nice long stretch of the best weather on the planet with those trade winds in control. Air quality is going to be good and humidity levels will be comfortable. However, there's an approaching disturbance around Tuesday. That's when the winds will shift to corner winds. It's going to be a little sticky at times, and you can expect more rain from that disturbance, especially on Wednesday and Thursday. So at least until Monday, things are looking pretty good, especially for the Kona side, right? They're not going to get much from that disturbance anyway. And then Hilo, they'll see trade wind weather. That means they'll see morning and overnight showers for, for that Hamakua coast and into the Punapahoa area. Now for Kauai, they're going to see pretty nice stuff as well. They're not going to see a whole lot of rain, although they'll likely see a few minor splashes. But as that disturbance moves in between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that's when they'll see the rain. Some of the rain on Wednesday and Thursday could be pretty heavy, so heads up on that.
Well, it's Friday, and that means it's Hula Kahiko night at the Merry Monarch Festival. But first, the big Merry Monarch story headline of the day is that we have a new Miss Aloha Hula. Joining us live from Hilo to break it all down is our Dylan Ancheta. Aloha, Dylan.
Hey, aloha, Ashley. Yes, thank you so much. The big story, as you mentioned, a new Miss Aloha Hula has been crowned. And the even bigger headline out of the Edith Kanakaole Stadium last night is this is the 3rd consecutive Miss Aloha Hula for Halau Kala'o Nohi Mai o Ha'e. Now, of course, her name is Agnes Renee Lehiva Hiva i Kapoliona Makua Thronis Brown. She wowed the stadium last night in both her Kahiko and Awana performances, and she ended up clinching the title. Now, her Awana, she danced about her hometown of Kaneohe, and she just moved the crowd as she flowed across the stage. And shortly after her win last night, I spoke with her, and here's some of what she said.
Honored, speechless, we're so grateful. I got to honor my home, Kaneohe, and my family is home in Kauai, and my kumu took me to Kauai and grown up in Kaneohe, so I've been able to really truly present my home and my ohana, and yeah, just an honor.
Ke aloha I ke kua, ke aloha I nā kūpuna, nā kumu nāna ia'o ia mākou, nā kāhu, ka ohana, nā hoa kako, nā hoa kako I ke ia papahana, nā luna loi loi, nā wahauori lako, wahauori nā kupuna, hauori mākou.
Now, her kumuhula also spoke with us shortly after as well. As you heard, he spoke to us in Olelo, Hawaii, and he kind of pieced together, mentioned some of the people who helped her along that journey and helped shape and guide the dances to what they were, and ended up again winning their third consecutive Miss Aloha Hula title. So we are so happy for her and seeing what she does over the next year. Now back out here live, I'm joined with a very special guest. Of course, tonight is Kahiko. We are gearing up for the first night of the group performances at the stadium, and I have the honor of speaking with Kauai's very own Kumuhula Lena Ala Pavao Jardine of Halau Kale Mokihana o Lena Ala, the champions from last year. Aloha Kumu, how are you today?
Aloha Dylan, wonderful. We are getting
ready for this evening, looking forward to taking everyone home with us to Kauai.
Yeah. We talked to you previously about your journey here to Hilo and how you guys were preparing for it. Tell us briefly a little bit about your mele. Recap that for us. What can we expect tonight?
Our kahiko Ike Ike o Nekania o Nohili takes you to the western end of our island to a very, very special place, a wahipana, where many, many of our ancestors of our kupuna lay at rest. And so we hope to just get people excited about this area, educate them, and activate as well people to understand, especially the kama'aina of our island, Malihini as well, to understand the importance of this place. And we look forward to carrying everyone with us to Kauai as we share about that area, about Polihale, the limu paha paha of that area that once was very, very abundant. So we're super excited.
We are looking forward to it. You guys always wow the crowd, and you represent Kauai so well. I want to also talk about the feeling of what it's like to be here in Hilo. You guys started practicing months ago, as everyone always does. But being here in Hilo, full capacity stadium, what does that mean to you, and how does it feel?
You know, Dylan, for me, Hilo is my second home. So when I'm here, I feel like I'm embraced by my kumure. I'm at home. I'm at my hula home, in a sense. And so it is so nice. It's great to be back. Hilo welcomes, Kauai welcomes everyone so wonderfully. And we are excited. It was, a pretty packed stadium last night. And I think it's going to be even more full this evening. And it's just a special feeling. Hula is alive and well. Not even a pandemic can change that. And so we are honored. We are absolutely honored to be here again this year.
Yeah. I know you always say the mele chooses you. Tell us what led you to this mele this year.
Well, actually, 11 years ago, this was our mele I selected for our first year at Monarch Festival. It just so happened another halau already selected it. And so after, a bit of changing around, I had to change to another mele. And everything happens for a reason. It really does. It wasn't the time for that mele to be shared in the Edith Kanakaole Stadium. Now it is. We consider ourselves storytellers. We consider ourselves people to inspire others. And so to bring awareness to this area on our home island is so, so special. And whatever we can do to bring more respect, more, to activate, to manifest, whatever it is our kuleana, and we love doing it.
Perfect. I also want to bring in your daughter Breeze here for a quick moment. You performed last night in the Miss Aloha Hula competition. You were absolutely stunning, and Breeze here won first runner-up. Can you paint the picture, what was going through your head when you were on stage?
Dylan, when I stepped on that stage, all that I could think about was my ohana at Homa Ni'ihau and Keakua. And I knew that my job stepping on that stage was to make my ohana proud and to represent Ni'ihau to the best of my ability. And I truly feel that through my Kahiko Anawana performance, when I stepped off the stage, I left everything out there that I could. And the biggest award that I received was having my ohana come to me and telling me, you represented us so well and you put your heart out there. So that was the most amazing feeling of all.
Well, you did absolutely amazing. We felt your love through your dance. And I was watching Kumu. I like to watch, the people behind the stage and on the side, and the way her face just glowed and looked at you. I was getting a little bit emotional myself. Kumu, briefly, really quickly, tell us what has the last year been like as champions, and any pressure going into this year?
No pressure, truly no pressure. We're just doing what we do, what we love, really. And we're just so blessed to be loved by so many people across Hawaii, our island of Kauai. Of course, we receive so much support and aloha, and we can't do it alone, right? I mean, we have amazing musicians, which everyone will hear today, and just everyone who supports us, Dylan. It really, really takes an amazing army to do what we do, and we will continue to holomua with love, with humility, and with keakua at the center of it all.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to let you guys get set for your performance. We are just moments away from a very special performance from Halaukale Mokihana Ole Na'ala. And in the meantime, I want to bring in my ohana here really quickly because Kauai is in the house tonight. For the first time, my ohana, my mom, my sister, my grandma are here at Mary Monarch. And my boyfriend Dustin, this is his second time, so to speak. What do you guys think about Mary Monarch so far?
It is amazing. It's everything I've ever dreamt about and more. This was my first time here, and I look forward to coming back.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Very, very amazing. The adrenaline was awesome. The gals who stepped on that stage were just quite beautiful and amazing.
Oh. Grandma, what about you?
A dream come true, and of course checking off on my bucket list.
A bucket list item. She's been waiting a long time for this. And what about you?
This is my second year, attending the Maui Monarch, and it's the culmination of 60 years of hula, of culture, of tradition, and so it's kind of amazing to feel all of that energy at the stadium tonight, and to be with your family as well. It's there's no place I'd rather be.
Oh, I love it. Well, we're all ohana here in Hilo, especially during Maui Monarch time. I want to set the stage now and hand it over to the ladies of Halau Kale Mokihana o Leina Ala with their wonderful musicians, Nahoa. Ladies and gentlemen, take it away. Kale Mokihana o Leina Ala, joined by their wonderful musicians, Nahoa. Thank you guys so much for being here and sharing that mele with us. Ashley, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Dylan. So will you be cheering for them at Kahiko night tonight?
Yeah, of course, tonight is Kahiko performances. This was a Awana version tonight, but we are expected to see the ancient version of dancing, the more Oli, the chants tonight, and that's happening all tonight at 6 o'clock. We will be streaming that on air and online. So all exciting things here in Hilo.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, we have the Royal Parade tomorrow at 10:30. We're going to be streaming that as well. And we will have the Kahiko night performances at 6 p.m. And of course, more from Dylan and our crew in Hilo covering the Maui Monarch Festival. 60 years of just world-class hula there on the Big Island. And don't forget the Awanas tomorrow at 6 p.m. on K5 as well. We're going to have all this live coverage coming up on later editions of Hawaii News Now. But as we go to the end of the show, we want to wish you all a happy Aloha Friday and have a great weekend.